How about I make the following argument? Israel is an apartheid state. It has laws which discriminate on the basis of race. Is that true or not?
Yeah.
Is there any doubt in that?
No.
Is there any doubt?
No.
I'll give you some more information on this point. In 1973, they had something called the Apartheid Convention, the UN Apartheid Convention. This UN Apartheid Convention said that if you have laws which discriminate on the basis of race, then it's a racist, it's apartheid. Israel has laws which discriminate on the basis of race. For example, the right to return. It's only for Jewish people. Okay? Which means, according to the UN and to the 1973 Convention, they're an apartheid state. That's what that means. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because for the following reason. If you attack Israel's rights to defend itself, or this or that, or whatever it may be, if you attack the state of Israel, or if you see those guys defending the state of Israel, you can say you're a racist sympathizer. Because you support a racist state. You're the equivalent of someone who would have supported the rogue state of South Africa. You're the equivalent of someone who would have supported the additional rights of the white man to have privileged rights over a black man in South Africa, the apartheid state. Are you a racist? And this is how I put it. I put it in a question. So we have reason to believe that you have racially discriminated against us. For those people here who are being harassed by the institutions, who want to label you as a terrorist sympathizer, well, we know your insecurities. Your insecurities is you don't want to be labeled as a racist. It's one of the worst things to be labeled as, especially as a white man or a white woman in Canada. So that's your insecurities. You know our insecurities, fine. Of course we don't want to be labeled as terrorists. But we know you don't want to be labeled as racists. So if you want to be happy putting a label upon us, we're happy we've got our labels as well. We're ready to fight fire with fire.
Allah.
And that's the attitude that we have to have. Respond to people in life with the energy that they give you. If they come with aggressive energy, harmful energy, antagonistic energy, provocative energy, hostile energy, then come back with that. Islam is not turn the other cheek. Islam is وَجَزَاءُ سَيِّئَةٍ سَيِّئَةٌ مِثْلُهَا. Which means that if you come with a sin on me, I'm going to give it back to you. This is allowed in Islam. Especially with people who are in essence oppressive. Don't let people oppress you. Don't let people twist your arm. It's not the arguments that matter as much as the attitudes that we have to have as Muslims in these countries. And it's got to be the same attitudes that black people had in the 1960s civil rights movement. We're at that time now. We are at that time now. Where the response has to be proportionate, has to be ready. You must take risks. You must not fear the consequences as much. Show them. Show them you're ready.
Allah.
You'll know this, and I've given this analogy before. But if you show and manifest fear and anxiety, if you show and manifest, take this as a principle for life, anywhere you go, whatever you do, if you show with your body language, with your behavior, with what you're willing to accept, with what we're willing to accept collectively and individually as a Muslim community, that we're going to accept this. We're all right. We're anxious. We're a little bit scared. You're causing me mental health issues. All of that stuff doesn't work. Doesn't work. Will not work. Push back. Because if you don't push back now, it's not just about Palestine and Israel situation. It's about you and me. Al-Mutanabbi, one of the great Arab poets, he says, "Man yahi, yashalu al-hiwanu alayhi, ma li jurhin bi mayyitin ilahu." He says, the one who is humiliated once, it becomes easier to humiliate him over and over again. Just like a dead body doesn't feel anything, is numb to being sliced. We must have dignity. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told us, He said that sharaf al-ummah, that certainly the dignity of the ummah is qiyamuhum bil-layl, is standing up at night time in prayer. وَعِفُّهُمْ, and their might, their self-dignity is istighna'uhum 'an nas, their self-sufficiency from the people. Our problem for the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years in the West is that we've been groveling, begging. It's not an allegiance. It's an ask for help. Groveling. The left wing, the right wing, that politician, this one, that one. And they don't respect that. They don't care about that. The more they see you groveling, the more they will hit you on the head. The attitude and the temperament and the disposition has got to become disagreeable. We disagree. We disagree with the stances of the politicians in the West. We disagree. We disagree with what Justin Trudeau said. We disagree. We disagree with Rishi Sunak. We disagree. We disagree with Joe Biden. We disagree. We disagree with the policies of Israel. We disagree. And no amount of flattery can get us to agree. Do you agree? Yes, yes or no?
Yes. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Today, on this day, and every day henceforth, hitherto, every day henceforth, hitherto, we say no to everybody who wants us to agree with them. We say no. We have a conscientious gap. We say no, no, no. Whether it's implantations of LGBTQ curricula in our children's schools without our will, we say no. To the left wing, we say no. Without our permission, we say no. Whether it's forced indoctrination of our children, we say no. Whether it's you must agree with Israel's rights to defend itself and they define it in a certain way, no, 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 and no amount of bullying can get us to agree with you. We disagree. Do we agree or disagree?
Yes.
Takbir!
Allahu Akbar.
That's why I say to you guys today, here in Canada, we must keep the momentum. We are winning. Wallahi, we are winning. You might think that it's not the case because you see, and I see, the hospital being blown up, and the children in body bags, and the father. Wallahi, this is the most disturbing thing I have ever seen in my life, where he had his baby who was deformed and he was holding it for the world to see. Deformed. I don't know, I had a rush of emotion. I didn't know whether to punch the screen, or cry, or vomit, or go angry, but the rage was burning inside me, and is still burning inside me. Is it burning inside you?
Yes.
And they want us to justify the Israelis' actions. Can you believe it? Justin Trudeau's coming to a mosque and wants us to get some kind of no. Say something. And so I say to you guys today, keep the momentum. Because recently I went on a show. I'm not sure if many of you have seen it. It's a man called Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan didn't see it coming. And in the backstage, before I went on, one of the people came and said, look, Piers Morgan is a little bit aggressive, so if he's getting too aggressive, I looked at the guy and I smiled and I said, listen, Piers Morgan is very aggressive. But so am I. And in fact, I was restraining myself. The point is this. One thing you'll find in that particular interview, which has now been viewed 7.5 million times in 4 days, in addition to 1 million additional times on the live, in addition to 1 million additional times in different languages, about 10 million in 5 days. And you can see with all the comments, over 150,000 comments You can see with all the comments that the average white man, liberal in England, in America, and in Canada has changed their mind and seen the hypocrisy of these media outlets. So much so. So much so that Morgan and his friends are trying to get my attention on Twitter, like an ex-girlfriend. He's trying to get my attention. I'm thinking, I'm traveling. I was coming through Iceland and I was on the volcanoes and I was looking at Facebook in this track. I'm not interested. I'm done with him. I'm done with him. He's like a taxi driver. He took me to my destination, and now I don't need him anymore. But it's just like that, where the narrative can and will continue to change. We can push back, because now I'm even seeing the Israeli Foreign Ministry on Twitter and other platforms responding. This is the Israeli Foreign Ministry, Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin is defending himself, and they're on the back foot, and this and that, and they're scared. Wallahi, I know I'm here in Canada, but I can smell all the way the fear. Not just in the troops, the Israeli troops who are killing the innocents, but in the political elites, like Netanyahu and his supporters. I can smell the fear. One other person I engaged with, as you may know, Canada's own Jordan Peterson. And I'm not sure if you know, but he made this comment saying, "Give him hell, Netanyahu, give him hell." I'm not sure if you come across this. He was supporting Netanyahu. And then after 2 days of being barraged and being ravaged, slapped around on Twitter, he disabled his comments, or he only allowed certain people to. Akhi, this is Twitter. You have kids in Gaza who are taking shells and this are coming out of the rubble and saying, and you can't even handle 2 days of pressure on Twitter. That's what happens when you pay a man to try and take your agenda forward. He may be getting $50 million a year to say to be on Daily Wire. 50 million a year. Unbelievable amount. And he can't take 2 days of attack on Twitter. You can't buy courage. You can't buy courage.
Push back.
And with that, guys, I will conclude. It's going to open up for questions and answers. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam.
Allah